and we said we are going to move things in this direction, many people did not believe us. They thought it was the usual talk. Today, we have come here, already arise, I've put machines on the ground, we've launched the first phase. You've had Orama announce here that they have already made available $500 million, which is 65 billion shillings, to put the infrastructure here in Vipingo Special Economic Zone, infrastructure in Dongokundu, and infrastructure in Naivasha. All that space is going to create new opportunities. It's going to create new opportunities for jobs, for adding value to our products, and for making Kenya a net exporter of finished products, and we begin to reduce our imports. And that is the trajectory we are looking at. You have asked me a specific question. What is it that we are doing as government to make sure that we are predictable? That it is not going to be a game of guesswork by the investors who are here. And I want to tell the investors here, who are here, we made a deliberate decision. The reason why we are setting up special economic zones is because we have legislation that protects investors that come into these special economic zones. We have made a determination that we will have a 5-year cycle of policy, so that at the very least, you know that as you invest in this space, you have 5 years before there is any discussion on change of any policy in this ecosystem. And number two, we have also made policy decisions, including reducing some of the taxes of some of the materials that will be required for manufacturing. For example, we have removed duties on imports of paper that will be used for manufacturing of tea products, coffee products, export products. We are looking at other interventions, and we are discussing with industry. We have a robust conversation with industry. How is it that we are going to make it easier for companies, for industrialists to invest in the special economic zone, even as we work on setting it up? We have also looked at how are we going to have energy security. We are having a conversation as Kenyans that the 2,300 megawatts is not anything we can even tell anybody. We are having a robust conversation now how we are going to have 10,000 megawatts at the very least, so that our investors in our special economic zones and in other parts of our economy know.
Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii, Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio.
As you can see, there is already a lot of work in that direction so that we can provide easier mobility in that space. We're looking at how to extend the railway to Uganda. We're looking at how to do more roads, provide more in terms of water, make sure that other utilities are readily available. We are also reorganizing Kenya Power to make sure that it becomes much more efficient. We've brought in private sector into that space. And we are now having a conversation as Kenyans how, as industrialists come into Kenya, we can de-risk some of their investments. Like, for example, Gagan is asking us that as he puts this huge facility here that is going to employ 30,000 Kenyans, he wants Kenyan investors, Kenyan private sector people, Kenya government to be part of that investment. And I have undertaken to him that the government of Kenya, with our agencies, and we are going to encourage some of our companies, some of our pensions with patient money to be able to invest so that together Gagan and all the other industrialists who are coming here will know that we are not telling them to go where we don't want to go ourselves. We want to make sure that, as Orama said, they are helping us as a continent to inform the rest of the world that AfriExim is willing to put in their money. So those industrialists coming from outside Africa should invest. We are saying here in Kenya, we are putting our own money into the industrial opportunities we have, so that even as others put in their money, they can see our skin in the game. And therefore, then they can have the confidence that the government of Kenya and the people of Kenya and the private sector in Kenya is also part of this program. So, to answer your question directly, is that we have a predictable policy space backed by the law. Number two, we are ourselves investing in that space so that we are not leaving our investors alone, and we will then be as concerned as they are if there are any policy changes to be made, because in that process, if it is going to affect them, then it is going to affect us. And therefore, we will be a lot more careful in how that space changes. And finally, is to tell the investors that are here, and I know many others that are listening to us elsewhere, that this is a space that you can be sure of. We are not in this for the short term. We are not in this out of a product of guesswork.
We are on this as a plan. And with partners like AfriExim and good friends like Arise, I think we have partners that have a proven track record. And therefore, you should have confidence that we are going forward together.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. You provided me with the transition to ask a question to Professor Orama. What is AfriExim Bank's skin in the game as well from an equity perspective, mobilizing equity? The government has skin in the game from infrastructure, policy stability, but investments and convincing other Kenyan institutions to also invest. How can AfriExim Bank push to that direction, but also organize, you know, Africa's pension funds and sovereign wealth funds? We have $4.5 trillion from pension funds, but also from wealthy individuals on the continent. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. So you are right. We have so much money in Africa, but we don't use them to help ourselves. If you look at the reserves, on the average, $300 to $500 billion in reserves. Where are they? They are all outside. In the banks that when you now go to borrow from them, they say you have high country risk. So they cannot lend that your money back to you. The same thing with pension funds, we have rules that restrict how we use the money. So unlike other parts of the world, where pension funds are sources of patient capital, ours do not serve us as such. So what we've done in our AfriExim Bank is to create the Fund for Export Development in Africa, FEDA, which is the vehicle we've used to invest in Arise Integrated Industrial Platform. And I must thank His Excellency, President Ruto, and his government for Kenya's membership of that fund, because that then enabled us to be able to do some of these things, because it then made it possible for that fund to invest in these parks that we are talking about. But beyond that, we have under the FEDA platform an FEDA investment management, The work of that federal investment management is to work with federal capital and other federal platform to create funds. And one of the things we are about to launch is an industrialization fund. That industrialization fund will support investors that are in these industrial parks. We will be available and able to work with His Excellency President Ruto for the investments that Kenyans want to make in the textile plant and all the companies, so that we put that under a fund, under a fund arrangement where Afreximbank will also put its own money through FEDA. That way, we're able to raise significant amount of money to bring here. And also, something we have done to make the projects successful is what we are doing to bring access to market to those who are investing. People produce to sell. They don't produce to consume what they produce. And there is a fantastic opportunity through the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. So what we're saying is that when somebody invests here, the whole African market becomes their market. But I do not expect them to understand the market. So we do not think so that they will understand it immediately. So that is why we have also launched a trading company called the Africa Trade and Distribution Company. That trading company is owned by Afreximbank, the FCFTA Secretariat, Arise, and Equiten. And what it does is helping to trade some of the products produced in the industrial parks. So when you produce here, your goods can go to Nigeria, go to Senegal, go to Egypt, because that trading company is able to take them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Orama. You talked about the AFCFTA. I'll use the opportunity to ask to Professor Lopez the question about Kenya's positioning to be the gateway for the AFCFTA. What's your opinion on that? Thank you.
Thank you. As someone that has been involved in the technical work for the establishment of the CFTA, and now a member of its advisory council, which, by the way, is meeting today in Cairo, but I gave preference to be with you, Mr. President. There are 5 dimensions of regional integration, and if we just look into trade without the other 4, it's not going to work. So we give a lot of importance to the trade dimension, which is absolutely correct, but without the other 4, it's not going to work. The other 4 are, we need macroeconomic integration, not to the extreme of having one single policy, but you need policy convergence. If you don't have policy convergence, you are going to have problems of foreign exchange, you are going to have problems of interoperability of the banks and all that. Some of the issues that, by the way, Afreximbank has tried to address, like the Pan-African payment system. The second that is also important is the productive integration, which is how you go cross-border to make sure that there is value chains that are going to operate in the real market, continental market. So for that, Kenya needs to be one of the propellers of this cross-border integration. And it's doing it in different ways already. So it can really boost its role in the CFTA precisely because it's already in that trajectory. And you can see it in different ways, on the digital, on the logistics, and different ways. Then you need a third element that is quite important as well, which is infrastructure integration. It is mostly logistics. Without the logistics, it's going to be very hard. And here, Arise has understood that for the success of this very large number of industrial parks, 13 countries, logistics becomes central. And without these logistics, we are not going far. And then the fourth one, and here really we have to salute Kenya again, is the free circulation of people. Because if you don't circulate within the continent, it's going to be very hard to do business. So by taking the decision, very courageous decision, to drop the visa requirements for Africans, we have one more element that Kenya is leading. So if you take the 5, in each one of them, Kenya has already put seeds, but it needs to use it much more. And that brings me to my second and last point. You know, for us to be successful in structural transformation, we need 3 ingredients. The first ingredient is ambition. Ambition is defined by making sure that you understand the megatrends, and there are 3 that are particularly important: demographics, the president said it, climate, and technology. If you don't understand them, you will not realize that things are moving extremely fast. And only when you get the real sense of this speed, you then position your strategy to be able to beat the ambition that makes sense. Once you have done that, you need the second ingredient. There will be a lot of things under the sun, but you need focus. And this focus is very difficult because the focus is going to demonstrate the windows of opportunity are very limited and very narrow. So it has to be very calibrated. This is where you will decide, for instance, that your value chains are going to be in competition with the world. And therefore, what is it that you are going to put that is differentiating to create the value that you are after? So that's focus, a lot of focus. And once you have done focus, you need the third ingredient, which is alignment. Because, you know, you can decide these are the 3 or 4 areas we are going to invest on. These are the ones that we are going to prioritize. But then it's a complete disarray between Ministry X, Ministry Y, different agencies, each one going its own way, bureaucracy, red tape. Things are not going to move. The only way it works is by making sure that coordination is not just a word that we use lightly, but rather coordination is about every single part of the government and key actors of the private sector are going to be elevating that focus into national priority.
Thank you very much, Professor Lopez. I will ask one last question to Gagan before handing over to Mr. President for his closing presidential reflections so that we can end the panel. Gagan, we heard that special economic zones can help Kenya be the gateway to the AFCFTA. But that's good. But what we want also is for special economic zones to be the gateway for the local community, for farmers, for small enterprises, micro enterprises, you know, to be their gateway for prosperity as well. What lessons can we learn from your experience in these 13 countries around Africa where ARISE is already? What can we do to make sure that SEZ enable what we call economic growth, but also job creation?
I think, Madhu, very important question. My belief is industrialization cannot happen just by foreign investors. Because when a foreign investor invests, when he makes money, he wants to take his money back and build a nice house in his home country. But if a Kenyan invests and he makes money, he will do more industry. So one key focus for us in any country that we go, including Kenya, is how do we bring more and more Kenyan investors to be in the industrial zone. And as President was talking, for example, in textile, we are saying how can we partner with Kenyan investors. So what we do is we run very specific programs to attract local investors to come and invest in the industrial zone. And that program can include co-investment with them by us. So imagine an investor has a good project, we evaluate it and we find it's good, we are happy to invest alongside with him. Then we also work with our partner banks, like President Orama said, with AfriExim, with AFC and others, to help them finance it, so that we're able to make sure that the local investors are getting equal opportunity. The second part that we clearly see is how do we integrate other industries. So for example, when you see textile industry coming up, you will need somebody to do button manufacturing, you will need somebody to do thread manufacturing, you will need somebody to do other ancillary manufacturing, like packaging material. So here is where we'll attract all the SME sectors to come and establish and provide them long-term offtakes so that they can also establish alongside. I think the third part which is important is you have to ingrain very small practices day to day. I'll give you a simple example. You know, if you go to our Benin industrial zone, we have about 25,000 people that come to work. One choice was we put up a large cafeteria for everybody to come and eat. Instead of doing that, we created a lot of stores for all the mothers to open small cafeterias. So you have over 200 small, mamas who have opened stores and can sell their food products. So our design of the industrial zone is from day one to ensure that we integrate SMEs. Lastly, we'll actually work with the Kenyan government, with the Afro-Exim Bank, to see if we can create a small diaspora fund. The idea being that diaspora can put in their money, and all the opportunities that come in the industrial zone, they have a choice to invest in those companies. This way we ensure that the SMEs progress and it's a impact round across and not just few companies. Thanks, Amal.
Very much, Gagan. Mr. President, the last word for you, Excellency. Mr. President, what is your call to action for African governments, development finance institutions, the private sector, but also for the local communities? Call to action so that the special economic zones can become the backbone of Africa's industrial transformation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, my good friend, Mr. Holt. Listening to these good people here, I wish I had them every day to speak to the people of Kenya. Because what they're saying is music to my ears. It's what I keep, saying. Look at what Professor Orama has said about how do we mobilize domestic resources. Why is Afro-Exim Bank, a local bank? Local in the sense that it is African. It understands us better. They ask us less questions because they understand us. He's just said, we get our own money, we put it in some institutions out there. When you want to borrow that money from them, they tell you you are a risky borrower. This is your money. It is okay for them to keep it, but it's not okay for them to lend it to you. That tells you we must have some local solutions. And it is, Professor, what I have been pushing in our country. We've had not a very good culture of savings. Our National Social Security Fund is among the smallest in our region. Now we have changed that. We are growing our pool of patient money, our pool of savings, our pool of money in our pension funds. Just in one pension fund, the National Social Security Fund, we have doubled in the last 2 years the money in that fund. And we will triple it by 2027. We'll have 1 trillion shillings in that fund. That is how we are going to create a pool of money which we can use for our own investment. Because I am told by economists, because I'm a scientist myself, that investment is a function of savings. If you have not saved nothing, you have nothing to invest. So we must start by savings. And I want to congratulate the people of Kenya. They have finally agreed that savings is a way for us to go. And it was what Professor Orama here was telling us, that we must build our own capacity to invest. And our own capacity to invest is built around how much savings we can put together. The call to action on that particular agenda is we need to do more around mobilizing domestic resources. Domestic resources for saving, domestic resources for investment. Look at what we have done with our housing program. We have mobilized resources, local resources. We didn't borrow from nobody. We have mobilized local resources. We are building 170,000 housing units 400 markets, 100 and another 72,000 hostel units in Kenya. All we have signed contracts of 600 billion, or let me put it, $4 billion of Kenyan money, which we have mobilized locally. So even as we look for solutions from elsewhere, we must know that there are solutions that are near us here. And I can say that about what we are doing in, we've mobilized about 300 billion shillings to deploy our health. Again, local money, local solutions. We've rolled that out. And as I listened to my good professor here, Lopez, he said three things: ambition, focus, alignment. You know, our ambition has been very small. You know, when you tell Kenyans we are going to build 200,000 houses, they say it is a lie. You know, when we came here last year and said we are going to put together a team that is going to unlock special economic zone in our region. And I remember when I had a meeting with Professor Orama in Mombasa last year, and we did announce $1 billion of investment in special economic zones in our country. $1 billion looks so much money. People are saying, no, this must not be true, because our ambition is small. So we are used to mediocrity. We are used to smallness. We must stop this smallness of mind and begin to think big and to think seriously. Look, today here, less than a year later, we have broken ground for an investment here, as has been said by these good people, beginning here, going to Dongo Kundu. Dongo Kundu will be there in a month and a half, and by February next year, we will be breaking ground in Naivasha. So, ambition, this is what this good Lopez is telling us. Let us raise our ambition. Let us stop thinking small. Let us stop thinking, oh, this is not possible, and this is not possible. We've had this for a long time. These are the usual stories. It is not the usual stories. And let's keep focus. You know, why are we, for example, why are we focused on textiles? Because we have identified some value chains, about 8 value chains in Kenya. We have, under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we are focusing on 8 value chains. One of them is textiles. Textiles because we have a competitive advantage. We have a good human capital, and we can grow our own cotton. We just handed over Rivertex. We signed the contract. We will shortly be handing over Rivertex to Arise. And they are bringing into that equation, you know, seedlings, working with farmers, so that we can grow our own cotton. So that even the factory we will be building here in Vipingo will use cotton from Kenya. That is the direction we want to take this. We are focusing on e-mobility. Why? Because therein lies value. We already have, just to mention one sector, 1.5 million almost border people in Kenya. Arise is beginning the production of e-bikes in Kenya right here in this region. Again, so that we can replace those borders which are using fuel with the ones that are using electricity. When I said that we will have motorbikes that will use electricity, you will not need to buy fuel. Many people say, oh no, how is that possible? You know, today we have motorbikes in Kenya that are using electricity. I was very happy last week to see one member of parliament, the member of parliament for Mwala, having gotten his own border people to buy 200 e-motorbikes for his constituency. That is the kind of thinking that we want to push into this space. We are focusing on leather. Why? Because we have the third largest herd of livestock in the continent. Therefore, we have the raw material. We can easily drive that space because we have the raw material, we have what it takes, and with investments like the ones that we are discussing here, we can drive it. Why are we focusing on digital jobs, BPO? It's because we have a tech-savvy young population, educated, speaking good English, people who can drive that space. Again, that is why we are focusing on the BPO space, digital jobs. I'm just speaking to focus, focus. So, so this is really when I'm listening to these good professionals, they're really speaking the language that I would all of us want to understand, that this is where we must be going. So special economic zones are instruments that we can use in this continent to do three fundamental things. Number one, we are a continent where many of our young people, they die in rickety, boats trying to find jobs all over the place. We can create those jobs here in our continent. Number two, we have huge reserves of energy. I just came from Ethiopia last week. One dam producing 5,400 megawatts. We have many of those that we can replicate in Kenya. That energy pool, clean energy, we can not only profile ourselves as a place where there is abundant energy, but also renewable energy. And we can use it to decarbonize other industries anywhere in the world. We can proudly tell other industries wherever it is. And that is what I am telling the investors I met this morning. I met investors from Linglong, the biggest tire manufacturers globally. They are here in this conference. They want to set up camp in Kenya. A $200 billion company want to find its way into Kenya. We're telling them they can not only produce out of Kenya because we have the human capital, we have the fiscal and infrastructure capacity, but we can also supply them with clean, green energy. And they cannot only supply for Kenya, they can be manufacturing out of Kenya for global value chain. We're telling the same to Foxconn. We just met again this morning, the largest technology manufacturer of technology phones and company. Again, they can manufacture out of Kenya. So we are saying that there is opportunity in our continent. You not only will help us create jobs, we have some of the best human capital. Number two, we have good energy. We are putting up good infrastructure. We are creating special economic zones. And much more importantly, Africa is going to be the place with the largest single market. So if you are looking for a good market for your products, you have had Africa Continental Free Trade Area and the infrastructure we are setting up around it to create one single market out of this continent, so that if you manufacture out of Vipingo or Dongokundu or Naivasha, your market is 1.4 billion people in this continent. And therefore, there cannot be a better place to set up your industry, your manufacturing facility. This is the place to do it. And speaking about logistics, you cannot get better logistics than what you have here in Mombasa. You have the port here in Mombasa, you have the port in Lamu, and you have everything in between. And we are setting up the infrastructure to connect this port by rail, by road, to the hinterland in our continent. So I am asking every investor, wherever they are, this is the place to set up camp, and we have all what it takes to make sure that your investment is not only safe, but it's also profitable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, dear panelists as well. Thank you for this brilliant panel, exciting panel. Please, let's put our hands together for a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Another round of applause for the panelists, and thank you for articulating those issues very, very clearly. And after such an engaging moment, let's take our seats kindly. Let's take our seats briefly. After such an engaging moment, there's not much to add, but allow me, Your Excellency, to invite the Governor, Kilifi, Honorable Mngaro, to just say thank you to all that have been in Kilifi this long, and also maybe to highlight areas in case you came with pounds, euros, and dollars, to ensure that you don't go back with them to your countries. Spend them here. Welcome, sir. After which you'll invite the Cabinet Secretary to invite His Excellency to officially pronounce the session closed. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Cabinet Secretary present, Permanent Secretary present, honorable members of Parliament present, distinguished guests, development partners, captains of industry, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, as we draw this transformative forum to a close, allow me to extend my profound gratitude to every delegate, partner, and leader who has contributed to its success. The conversations we have held here have not been routine, but are a motivation to laying a strong foundation for a new wave of investment and partnership across Kenya. Your Excellency, your presence and leadership today are a powerful endorsement of Kenya's commitment to being an investment-ready nation. You have sent a clear, resounding message to investors, both local and international, that Kenya is open, Kenya is prepared, and Kenya is determined to transform opportunities into lasting impact. For us in Kilifi, this forum carries a special significance. Not long ago, we convened our own International Investment Conference, and today, as we witness the launch of the Vipingo Special Economic Zone, we see the alignment between county ambition and national vision. Kilifi is proud to stand at the heart of this story, anchoring the coastal investment corridor and demonstrating what is possible when counties, the national government, the private sector, and development partners move in unison. But let us be clear, this is not the end. The true work begins once these doors close. The MOU signed, the commitments pledged, and the relationships forged here must be translated into tangible projects, sustainable jobs, and shared prosperity for our people. As counties, we are ready to work hand in hand with investors, and in Kilifi, we have built systems to ensure that partnerships are nurtured, fast-tracked, and supported from conception to completion. Distinguished guests, this forum has reaffirmed an essential truth that Kenya does not lack ambition, nor does it lack opportunities. What we need is precisely what we have witnessed here, mainly collaboration, clarity, and commitment. If we sustain this momentum, we will not only accelerate our nation's growth, but also redefine Africa's role in the global investment landscape. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, as we close, let us carry forward the spirit of this forum. Let us live not just inspired, but committed to act, to invest and to build. Together, we can make Kenya the continent's premier destination for investment, and Kilifi stands ready to play its part. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, let me take also this opportunity to, I know we are constrained of time, I want to ask the political leaders that we'll have an opportunity after here, as the day with the President for us is long, we'll speak somewhere else. But allow me, Your Excellency, for me to acknowledge all the leaders who are present. I'll start with my colleague from Mombasa, Governor Abdul Samad Nasir. We'll have an opportunity later, Governor. You know where we are going is where we belong most, all of us here. So we'll have an opportunity to speak there. Gertrude Mbeyu, the County Member of Parliament for Kilifi. The Honorable Katana Paul, the Member of Parliament for Kaloleni. The Honorable Amina Munyazi, the Member for Malindi. The Honorable Kenga Mupe, the MP for Rabai, the MP, the Honorable Owen Baya, who is also the Deputy Part Leader of the majority in the National Assembly, and the MP for Kilifi North. The Honorable Mishi Mboko, and all the members from Kilifi County. Can you just raise your hands, the team from Kilifi County? Asanteni sana and karibuni sana Kilifi. And before you leave, please, you take your time, spend some, like the person who invited me here earlier said, we have a lot to do. And maybe you'll get a new idea for a new investment. So just hang around for a few days and spend a bit of money and enjoy the Kilifi hospitality. Let me take this opportunity, Your Excellency, to now invite the Minister for Industrialization, the Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, to speak and invite you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Governor Mungaro. Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief, President of the Afri-Exim Bank, all invited guests, my colleague, Cabinet Secretaries, and all leaders here present. Good afternoon. Allow me to take this opportunity first to thank the President for a well-dedicated time to articulate our industrial agenda. No country in the world ever developed by accident. Every country that ever developed had to think through, and some of the steps you have said here are part of that. I want to echo the words of one of the panelists here who also said that the structure of colonization made the colonies the source for raw materials. So deliberate was that structure that 60, 100 years later, we have remained loyal to that. So for us to break that, there must be dedicated thinking, both at the continent level, at the country level, and a conversation among leaders on how we can align. Your Excellency, I want to remind you of an experience we had with one of our industrialists in a place called Nyahururu. He fabricated a vehicle, innovated, and because it would go on the road, he went to register it with our KRA. But the first document he was asked is the import bill, because it was not anticipated that a vehicle would be made in Kenya. So the structure that made or reduced Africa to be just a producer of raw tea, raw coffee, sisal, and other places where it would be developed remains intact. And therefore, I want to salute you for both being a champion and also allowing Kenya to be responsive to investor needs. All the investors, including Afri-Exim, thank you for believing in Africa. And I want to say, on the agenda of industrialization in Africa, we will rely more on Africa solutions. If Africa is to rise, we need more of the Professor Oramas, who believe in the continent and who know that for us to stop the migration of our young people across the Mediterranean, something must be done here. Lastly, I want to congratulate our governors, Mungaro and Mombasa Sheriff, for being responsive to the investors we have sent here, including yourself, processing all the necessary documentation, compliance, and all that is required for the investors to be here. And I want to echo those who have spoken before me that now, more than any other time, it is time for industry. It's time for us to work with the industry, the people, investors, the financial players, so that we can be able to move forward. With those few comments, I want to end it there, and once again to salute everybody. And I think going by what the President has already said here, we have agreed there is nothing more to add. May God bless you all.
Another round of applause for CS. And with that, we will end with the national anthem. But before that, Your Excellency.
The job of a U.S. Marshal is to apprehend fugitives, criminals on the run from justice. In my day, that meant tracking the most dangerous men in the country on horseback for days and weeks at a time, often through hostile territory and harsh weather. You do your best to get the drop on your man and bring him in peacefully, but sometimes he gets the drop on you, and then all bets are off. My name is Bass Reeves. I was born into slavery in the woods of northwest Arkansas in 1838, property of one William Steele Reeves, an Arkansas state legislator. When I was still young, the Reeves family moved from Arkansas to North Texas. I was treated somewhat differently than other slaves in that Mr. Reeves taught me to shoot a rifle. In fact, I was such a good shot, he used to enter me into contests and won many a bet that way. When the Civil War broke out and Mr. Reeves' son, George, went to fight for the South, he sent me along to serve as a valet and bodyguard for the young man. I saw some battles in the years that followed, and I learned that the fight was about ending slavery. But how long would the war rage on? How long would I have to wait for freedom? One night, I saw an opportunity to escape. I took off on horseback and headed for familiar territory in Arkansas. I knew I'd be caught sooner or later if I stayed there, so I continued across the Arkansas border into Indian Territory, a place that many runaway slaves would go for refuge at that time. During the years that followed, I befriended members of the 5 tribes that had been forced to travel west on what became known as the Trail of Tears: the Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Muskogee, and Seminole. I learned their languages and their practices, especially when it came to tracking and living off the land. The Civil War ended, and with it, all slavery in the United States. At last, I was able to move back to Arkansas, where I got married and built a farm of my own. The 10 years after the war was some of the happiest of my life. Then in 1875, Isaac Parker was appointed federal judge over the Indian Territory. He was looking for brave men of good character who knew the area, spoke the languages, and were a crack shot. And well, that was me on all counts. So I became a deputy U.S. Marshal, the first black man to hold that job this side of the Mississippi. And over the next 30 years, I used my tracking, communication, and shooting skills to apprehend over 4,000 fugitives from justice. It was the most dangerous job in the most dangerous place at the most dangerous time in American history. And I was good at it. I was also in a unique position to get close to black outlaws who weren't expecting a black man to be a U.S. Marshal and apprehend them safely when their guard was down. But occasionally, despite my best efforts, I would have to draw my gun. In the decades after the Civil War, I saw black men elected to both state and federal office, and it seemed that America was on a good path forward. I saw Indian Territory become the state of Oklahoma, but before long, racist groups began using violence, intimidation, and unconstitutional laws and practices to keep blacks from voting and holding office in the South. The place that I helped bring law and order to so it could become a state was now using the law to discriminate against me. I suppose I was well respected enough that I was able to keep doing my job in spite of racism, but it made my heart sink to see the country take such a big step backward. But by far, the hardest thing I had to do in my whole career as a deputy U.S. Marshal was to arrest my own son, Benny. He was a rash young man. He lost his cool in an argument with his wife and shot her. He swore that he wouldn't be taken in alive. But when he saw it was me that came to get him, he surrendered. The question each of us must answer for ourselves is, will you always pursue peace, knowing that it isn't always possible? And will you always pursue justice, knowing that sometimes it will break your heart?
Good morning. Now, the show started before it did. Let me introduce who is in studio, who has been doing the show before the show. Robert Mbo is the Member of Parliament for Kathiani constituency. He's also the Deputy Minority Leader at the National Assembly. Good morning.
Morning, Sam. Morning, viewers.
Miriam Kitani is the Member of Parliament for Aldai. She's also the Vice Chairperson. Trade Committee?
Trade Committee, yes.
Good morning.
Morning, Sam. Morning, viewers.
And Gadona Mushomba is the Member of Parliament for Githunguri constituency, previously serving as Chair of CIOC.
And currently serving in the Welfare Committee. Members Welfare Committee. Welfare.
Hiyo ndio saa zingine inaitwa catering.
Hiyo ndio chai. Catering.
How is your
na kupanguza meza.
How is it so far?
Oh, good, excellent. Okay. I mean, as a woman, I am happy to do some of those things that come naturally.
As we have in studio, joining us, I'll be introducing him shortly, Mheshimiwa Mboko Milemba, who is the Member of Parliament for Emuhaya. He's also the Chairperson of KUPPET. Right, how are you doing?
Good morning, and good morning, viewers.
It's good to see you. Now, there are a lot of things that have happened, but quickly let's take a look at the papers. Daily Nation, Campaign Podium is the story that you meet. Talking about the delegations hosted at State House from Boda Boda team, Nairobi Youth, Nyamira and Kisii team, Meru, Kuria West and Kuria East, Turkana, Kisii, Murang'a, and teachers. The Daily Nation puts it at 10,000 teachers. And says the President Ruto has opened the State House gates to delegations from across the country, explaining the meetings with diverse interest groups are intended to resolve their grievances and let them have a say in governance. But critics countered that the seat of power has been turned into a platform for partisan political campaigns amid queries as to the source of millions being doled out to attendees. Then on the Standard, the main story is war against Matiang'i. The Standard reporting that State machinery has been rolled out. Senior civil servants are flexing power, money changing hands, and threats issued, all aimed at clipping Matiang'i's rising stature in Nyanza and across the country. Then sleuths flying blind in city without CCTV, referencing the events of last week when Wakili Chalo Mbovu was shot and killed in Karen, and now reports indicating that there are no cameras on Magadi Road, but also the cameras that are in the city are not necessarily helpful to the investigations of what is going on. Now, it has also been that week, and you'll shortly be listening to the voices from some of the events that have been happening at State House. Teachers were the latest on Saturday. They had quite a meeting there. Part of the things they resolved is even signing an MOU with the Affordable Housing Board that 20% of affordable houses will be earmarked for the teaching fraternity. With us in studio is Omboko Milemba, who is the chairperson of KUPPET. He had the advantage of being there. And Mheshimiwa, thank you for joining us. But what can you tell us about that meeting on Saturday, some of those very many commitments, and how exactly is the Affordable Housing Board going to ensure that 20% of housing units go to the teachers?
Oh, very well, and thank you. On Saturday, 10,000 teachers were in State House, and I was part of the leaders of that delegation, and they met the president. And we want to thank the president for that invitation. And it has also been a tradition that after CBA signing, we usually visit the president. In 2016, we visited Uhuru, and in 2011, we also visited the president. Because always when we are doing the CBAs, there will be limits which we cannot decide. And you'll find the Teacher Service Commission and other authorities on the table indicating that this one we must make further reference. So this time, I think the president was magnanimous, not just to meet the officials, but invited 10,000 teachers. It was massive. And indeed, we were able to conclude CBA. For me, it was very, very good. And the achievements that the teachers got, very, very good. For instance, CBA, which was 33.8 billion, was to be paid in 4 years. And after interaction with the president, we came up with an agreement that be paid within 2 years. If that happens, that is very, very good for the teachers of Kenya, because you remember when the CBA was signed by ourselves, the teachers were saying they had gotten 50 bob. To mean the amounts per phase was very small. But now in 2 phases, that will be magical.
Yeah. There has been the issue of career progression, which has been the main reason why we, even in Parliament, always speak about stagnation of teachers. And this career progression, you take 3 years to get to an interview and you're not sure whether you are getting it. So you may even, to go through the system, it takes 30 years. It was also brokered within that particular meeting. And it's going to be reviewed with the intention of removing it. There are teachers who are acting. Teachers are acting everywhere, principals, deputies, and senior teachers, and even HODs. And also that was brokered, that those teachers who are acting, a calculation be done by the Teacher Service Commission to know that how much does it require to make them full, permanent, and pensionable in the acting places. For me, that was magical. And then there was the issue of the teachers who are in ASAL and who are mainly also affected by the same issues of acting. Their issues were also mitigated. And still then came the housing. You know, for the housing to take place, it was a very difficult decision by the teachers of Kenya. And I remember vividly, again, we were called to State House. And that time, the discussion was not easy. It was very difficult because the teachers were not accepting the issue of housing.
Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio.
Baby way.
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good, I just smell nice, everything
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio.
You be my power bank, you shake my battery full. When I deal with you, there's something I can't do.
Coco FM, lava ya Pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, lava ya Pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio.
Baby way.
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good, I just smell nice, everything
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio.
You be my power bank, you shake my battery full. When I deal with you, there's something I can't do.
Coco FM, lava ya Pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, lava ya Pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok at CocoFM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok at CocoFM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Let's do it. Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka. Facebook. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok at CocoFM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Let's do it. Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka. Facebook. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok at CocoFM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Let's do it. Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka. Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio.
Baby way.
Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
good, good. I just smell nice. Everything,
Instagram at CocoFM_radio. TikTok at CocoFM Radio. Facebook Coco FM. Na X at CocoFM Radio.
You be my power bank. You charge my battery full. When I deal with you, there's something I can do.
Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio.
Baby
Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good. I just smell nice. Everything,
Instagram at CocoFM_radio. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM. Na X at Coco FM Radio.
You be my power bank. You charge my battery full. When I deal with you, there's something I can do.
Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio.
Baby
Instagram at Coco FM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good. I just smell nice. Everything,
Instagram at CocoFM_radio. TikTok at CocoFM Radio. Facebook Coco FM. Na X at CocoFM Radio.
You be my power bank. You charge my battery full. When I deal with you, there's something I can do.
Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio.
Baby
Instagram at Coco FM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good, I just smell nice, everything
Instagram at Coco FM_radio. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio.
You be my power bank. You charge my battery full. When I deal with you, there's something I can do.
Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram at Coco FM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at Coco FM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio.
Baby
Instagram at Coco FM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good, I just smell nice, everything
Instagram at Coco FM_radio. TikTok at Coco FM Radio, Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio.
You be my power bank. You shut my battery full. When I deal with you, there's something I can't do.
Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio.
Baby way.
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look like, yeah, I look good, yeah, I just smell nice, yeah, everything, yeah.
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio.
I look like, you be my power bank, you shut my battery full. When I deal with you, there's nothing I can do.
Coco FM, ladha ya Pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, ladha ya Pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya Pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio.
Baby way.
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio.
Baby way.
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good, I just smell nice, everything
Instagram at CocoFM_radio. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM.
Kupendana asante sana pale ndani ya Mabu Moi Airbase wanasema tupo ngangari kamili gado mwanangu ndani ya jahazi anasema tuko tundi kabisa yuko pale Selina Wesonga Chirchir na Doc wanasema mama diko peperusha bendera nikiwaambia jahazi na ulinzi mzito nyie mnaona kama na watanii basi tuna ulinzi ndani ya Coco FM jahazi lina ulinzi wewe uogopi
watajijua wenyewe wataisoma namba mapenzi hili wataisoma
sio wataisoma walishaisoma namba kwamba ni 98.9 ai wewe kupendana sie kupendana
tumuombe
Maulana tuzidi kupendana kupendana Maulana tuzidi kupendana sie kupendana
Kwa muziki mtamu, gumzo lenye mnato, vipindi vilivyopangwa, vikapangika. Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Umewahi kusikiliza? Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco na mitandaoni ya kijamii. Facebook Coco FM. TikTok at Coco FM Radio.
Baby
Instagram at Coco FM_ngine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good, I just smell nice, everything
Instagram at
ndani ya Mazagazaga msikilizaji leo na kufunza kitu kujiondoa kwa heshima ni mali alafu vile vile kulinda hisia zako. Kwa nini ni muhimu kujua kulinda hisia zako? Lini pa kuondoa ili kulinda amani yako ya ndani. Ishara za mtu thamani yako msikilizaji, tena na kufunza hicho kitu. Ukiona Madikodiko nikimpigia simu yangu anapokea simu kwa heshima, mambo vipi, poa. Ukiona kwamba Madikodiko nampigia simu anapuuza wala harudishi simu, kuniona kwamba kama mimi ni mtu wa maana. Umeona? Vivyo katika mapenzi msikilizaji wangu, ukiona Ukiona mtu haelewi thamani yako au maelezo yako, jiondoe kwa upole, usipoteze muda wako. Jaribu kumfundisha kuona thamani yako. Na wengine hata ukamjaribu kumfundisha kuona thamani yako, pia hawaioni. Kwa hiyo asipoiona thamani yako, jipoteze msikilizaji wangu. 0104111000. Halo Coco FM.
Bwana mpia mada.
Poa sana. Inakuaje Loms?
Mimi niko kule wewe.
Niambie wangu.
Mimi niko poa. Sawa, uko kwapi?
Bazenga naye.
Bazenga na neno.
Mamake.
Mamake pia iko sawa, ni wote wazima kabisa.
Wape salamu zangu sana. Pamoja. 0104111000 ndio namba yangu kwa sasa. Msikilizaji, nipigie simu tuelezane.
Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii, Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it. Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio.
Baby we.
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good, I just smell nice, everything,
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio.
You be my power bank. You shut my battery full. When I deal with you, there's something I can't do.
Coco FM, lava ya Pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, lava ya Pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii, Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it. Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio.
Baby we.
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Yachayo katika habari za Coco FM. Lava ya Pwani.
Ndani ya mionzi ya Coco pale itakapotimia mida ya saa 9 za mchana, mkuu wa kijiji cha Vanga amewaonya wazazi kutoruhusu watoto wao kujishughulisha na shughuli za uvuvi. Kwa hana zaidi msikilizaji, ni pale itakapotimia mida ya saa 9 za mchana.
Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii, Instagram @CocoFM_radio. FM. Ladha ya Pwani. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it. Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio.
Baby way.
Instagram at Coco FM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good. I just smell nice. Everything
Instagram at Coco FM_radio. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio.
You be my power bank. You shut my battery full. When I deal with you, there's nothing I can do.
Coco FM, ladha ya Pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, ladha ya Pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram at Coco FM_radio. Ladha ya Pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Instagram at Coco FM_radio. Ladha ya Pwani. TikTok at Coco FM Radio. Facebook Coco FM na X at Coco FM Radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it. Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok at Coco FM Radio.
Baby way.
Yako ama maelezo yako, jiondoe kwa upole. Usipoteze muda wako kujaribu kumfundisha kuona thamani yako. 0104111000 ndio nambari yetu. Tunazima zote sasa hivi. Namba inaofanya kazi dunia nzima ni ya kwako na ya kwangu, ni ya kwako na ya kwangu. Hii 0104. Halafu njoo wasema mtu akipanda bodaboda afanywe nini?
Unajua mama, kuna watu wengine wana tabia mbaya. Mimi nilikuwa nafanya kazi ya bodaboda, niliacha lakini. Unapata mtu anakuja anasimamisha bodaboda, unasimama pale, mtoto wa kiume amevaa short kadogo.
Mtoto wa kike ama mtoto mdogo mchanga?
Jamaa tu amevaa short ndogo. Alafu anakusongelea wewe bodaboda paka unasikia kabisa Abdalla Parawazi huyu hapa tayari anagusa lango. Nikaacha kazi ya boda
kwa sababu ya hiyo.
Mara unapata mtu mwingine anapanda bodaboda, mwanamume mwenzio eti anakushika kwenye kiuno na kwambia eti anaogopa pikipiki iko mbio.
Si anajisupport.
Mwingine anakushika kwenye mabega. Si wanaume bwana, kujisupport huko ushike hata chuma.
Wengine unajua hawajazoea.
Sasa huko wakizoea ndio mwanzo wana left group. Wacha kushika kiuno tu, siku nyingine atataka na mengine.
Basi nisome mimi
kwako studio.
Halafu 0104111000. Mwingine ni Hai koko, si kuku, ni koko. C-O-C-O, coconut. Sawa sawa Hello Coco FM. Coco FM, hello.
Hello.
Niambie.
Ukiona mtu hakuelewi jitoe mapema.
Ndio.
Na kama wewe wamtaka,
kama unamtaka, kama hakuelewi pia jitoe.
Sasa mimi si nitabaki kuumia.
Utaumia, utapata mwingine.
Hayo maneno ya mwingine hapana. Kama roho yangu haijaamua nitajitoa vipi?
Utajitoa. Kwa hiyo unamtaka huyo?
Haje kujifanya anielewi, ni anielewe.
Basi sawa.
Sawa.
Anaitwa mara ufawa. Wewe uogopi? Hai Coco FM ni Chosombo. Anasema mtuzi kutoka Kayanda Tangibovu. Namsalimia mashabiki wote. Ujumbe ni kwa Dr. Music Kayanda. Azidi kusikiliza Coco FM. Sawa sawa. Eduardi, tunakuna nazi sasa hivi. Hapo vipi?
Sema na ila ya pili ukiongwa ufanani we. Sema na ila ya tatu nitabwada kitandani we. Sema na ila ya nne mwenzetu mchafu ndani we. Kanjenge kibanda
Udugu kanjenge kibanda
wenu wataniua.
Kanjenge kibanda kwetu kanjenge kibanda
kanjenge kibanda
udugu wangu
kanjenge kibanda shoga zako wataniua.
Kanjenge kibanda huko. Tukiendelea kukuna msikilizaji, itakapotimia mida ya saa 9 tutapata kitu cha habari. Baada pale tutampata Baba Yaga na dada yake mkubwa Sister Shanizi wakitupatia dry show ajabu kabisa hadi mida ya saa 1, ambapo tutampata PPO tupatie kitu cha rumba. Baada pale tutampata Mash Baby na unyago wake mjini atupatie unyagoni, na baada pale tutakuwa tunapata majinzi wangu wa nguvu akiwa pale Pauline na Habel. Baada pale tutakuwa tunarauka naye Pauline Mwango, halafu tunawapata mapacha watatu waturaushi asubuhi pale akiwa Anita Marwa na Nyenya Rukia. Baada pale tutakuwa tunawapata wenyeji njaruka yao mjini Kasimbui na binti Mwazi. Halafu mimi na wewe tunakuwa tunakutana tena kesho insha Allah kwa nguvu zake Ilahi Manani. Mimi nakupenda na kujali na kuthamini kila siku ya kalenda. Msikilizaji wangu, kama kawaida yangu husema mwisho wa kipindi changu ndio mwanzo wa vipindi vingine vyote ndani ya Coco FM. Tukutane tena kesho inshallah kwa nguvu zake Ilahi Manani.
Lakini tosi umezidi watu wote wachepuka, lakini Liza umezidi. Acha nicheze mie watu wangu jangwani, acha niringe mie watu wangu jangwani, acha nicheze mie watu wangu jangwani, acha nijishaue watu wangu lilo lilo. Mama mwanangu, mama mwanangu, mama mwanangu, waniachana saga mpunga we, mbona sijijui? Waniachana saga mpunga we, mbona sijijui? Waniachana pinda mgongo we, mbona waniachana pinda mgongo we, kama ninaumwa naumwa kijipupele, naumwa una mipole, naumwa upele jamu. Oya mwafulani we, mwafulani usitukane dangaji na kuambia udangaji kauanza dadayo kutumia. Ukiona mwana mwenzio budege nako vile vile nako ukiona mwana mwenzio mchele ukiona mwana mwenzio shangingi lilo lile tamu. Nipeni barua yangu, nipeni barua yangu, nipeni barua yangu, jamani barua yangu, nipeni barua yangu, naitaka barua yangu, barua jama barua barua jama barua barua ya bwana ndani barua jama barua barua ya bibi ndani barua ifike vema barua mama barua ni wana Dar es Salaam mbu acheni umbumbumbu, ni wana Dar es Salaam acheni umbumbumbu, shariti ni kuinama ukitaka cha uvungu, samona wapata wana alafu umpi. Naombeni barua yangu, naitaka barua yangu, nisome barua yangu, barua jama barua jamani. Kuna kijiti kimoja kwa jina sitokitaja, ukiona cha simamu ujue cha takaja, ukiona kimelala kisha chafua mapaja. Jamani wewe nipeni barua yangu, nataka barua yangu, nipeni barua yangu, barua jama barua barua ya mwana ndani barua jama baba naitaka barua yangu, nisome barua yangu, barua jama mahaba mahaba jama muhiba. Jamani kuna mama kuna mama kuna nasi kuna mama kuna kinyume nyume kuna kinyume nyume kuna kimbele mbele kuna kati kwa kati kuna kinyume nyume. Jamani kampata sharubaro jama kampeleka nyumbani, mda kumpa mambo kamfanyia miwani, kule akupaona kafanya kwa pajani. Jamani kuna sasa kuna embu kuna mama kuna dada kuna Ricardo momo kuna Esma twende kuna udangaji jamani, habari ya mujini, wenzako wapewa nyumba kwa magari ya injini. Hiviwe dangaji gani hadi leo walala chini? Ngoja embu kwanza kuna ifunze kukuna, kwa kushoto kuna, kwa kulia kuna utaniweza wapi utundu nimeanza zamani mie. Utaniweza wapi utundu nimeanza zamani mie. Utaniweza wapi kuchepuka nimeanza zamani mie. Utaniweza wapi utundu nimeanza zamani mie. Utaniweza wapi madanga nimeanza kitambo mie. Utaniweza wapi utundu nimeanza zamani mie. Utaniweza wapi mjini napajua kitambo mie. Utaniweza wapi utundu nimeanza zamani mie. Asada taka dodoa nataka katika jamana jojoa hamu ya nishika nataka dodoa.
Hivi sasa ni saa 9 alasiri. Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Kutoka County 003 Kilifi. Radio inayovuma ndani ya pwani. Coco FM, radio inayokupa ladha ya pwani. Coco FM. Hii ni Coco FM, ladha ya pwani. Kutoka County ya Kilifi, muktasari wa mionzi ya Coco. Maelezo yanayotendeka kwa sasa katika ngazi tofauti. Hii ni mionzi ya Coco FM. Muktasari wa mionzi ya Coco.
Nikitumai huna neno mahali popote ulipo, hujambo na karibu katika muktasari wa mionzi ya Coco FM awamu hii ya saa 9. Mimi ni Elizabeth Mwende. Na nikianza na taarifa ni kwamba Rais William Ruto amewahakikishia vijana kaunti hii ya Kilifi kwamba watapewa kipaumbele katika swala la kupata ajira katika ujenzi wa viwanda eneo lililozinduliwa la kiuchumi eneo la Vipingo. Akizungumza wakati uzinduzi huo, Rais Ruto amesisitiza kwamba vijana wa eneo hili sharti wapewe nafasi za kwanza kabla vijana kutoka maeneo mengine, ikizingatiwa kwamba mradi huo utabuni nafasi za ajira kwa zaidi ya vijana 35,000. Hata hivyo, kiongozi huyo wa taifa amewapa changamoto vijana kujitokeza kwenye ujenzi huo ili kupata nafasi hizo za ajira badala ya kusubiri nyumbani, akisema kwamba taifa linajengwa na vijana wanaojituma na kupambania maisha yao kupitia utafutaji wa ajira.
Taji watu wa hapa Kilifi, vijana wengi washughulike na ile kazi ya ujenzi itakuwa hapa na ile kazi ya viwanda ambayo itakuja baadaye baada ya ujenzi. Mimi nauliza vijana wa hapa Kilifi, mko tayari ama mko tayari? Nasikizeni bwana. Dunia hii ni bidii na kujituma. Usingoje nyumbani ati.
Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii, Instagram @CocoFM_radio.
Akidai kwamba huu ni muda wa kuwafanyia wananchi kazi na wala sio muda wa kueneza siasa.
Tumesema wakati huu ni wakati wa kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunabadilisha nchi yetu kwa miradi na mipango ya maendeleo.
Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii, Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Kauli yake inajiri kufuatia kuongezeka kwa hofu kuhusu usalama wa watoto baharini. Maafisa wa usalama na wale wa idara ya uvuvi wamesema wataimarisha doria baharini na kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna mtoto mwenye umri wa miaka chini ya 18 atakayeruhusiwa kuingia baharini.
Utaona mtoto mdogo hataki kusoma lakini yuenda baharini.
Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii, Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Ladha ya pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM.
Za haja ya viongozi wa kushirikiana ili kutatua migogoro ya ardhi hasa katika kaunti ya Mombasa. Akizungumza katika eneo la Kisauni, Gavana Nasir amesema umoja wa viongozi ni muhimu katika swala la kutoa hati miliki kwa wakazi wa kaunti hiyo. Nasir amewahimiza viongozi kushughulikia swala la ardhi kwa haki na usawa bila kuingiza siasa, akitaja uboreshaji wa sera, urasmishwaji wa ardhi na kutoaji wa hati miliki kama baadhi ya mbinu za kutatua swala la migogoro ya ardhi kikamilifu. Kwa upande wake, mbunge wa Kisauni Rashid Bedzimba amedai kwamba watashirikiana na viongozi wa eneo hilo kutafuta suluhu la kudumu kuhusu swala la ardhi.
Angalieni, kwa sababu ya not working with emotions, tumepeana title deed katika eneo la Meritini. It is something ambao watu wamekuwa wako na hiyo shida tangu 80s. Mimi nataka kuambia wale ambao kwamba wenye kutumia lugha ya ukabila, lugha ya chuki, kutumia mambo ya dini, sahihi naona lugha nyingine mambo mashamba nini. Hasa nikishatatua hii mambo, sijui litazuka lipi jengine.
5 dakika zimekatika baada ya saa 9, na kufikia hapo ndipo natia kikomo muktasari wa mionzi ya Coco FM. Mimi ni Elizabeth Mwende.
Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii, Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. You're so beautiful.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio.
Baby we.
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Jiunge na wanakoko wengine katika kurasa za mitandao ya kijamii za Coco FM.
I look good. I just smell nice. Everything
Instagram @CocoFM_radio. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio.
You be my power bank. You shake my battery full. When I deal with you, there's something I can do.
Coco FM, ladha ya Pwani. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii. Coco FM, ladha ya Pwani. Hii ni Coco FM. Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. Facebook Coco FM.
Sababu najua nipo naye. Ndio maana nawiri siku hizi nimepanda bei.
TikTok @CocoFM_radio na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii, Instagram @CocoFM_radio. Lava ya Pwani. TikTok @CocoFM_radio. Facebook Coco FM na X @CocoFM_radio. Unasikiliza Coco FM. Tunapatikana mitandaoni ya kijamii.
Let's do it! Oya wanangu hauka. Oya wanangu hauka.
Facebook Coco FM.
Wow guys. Hauka moya wanangu hauka. Hauka moya wanangu hauka.